Just picture this for a moment. A dairy farm where every single cow is, well, a unique data point. A place where their health is tracked in real time by wearables and milking. That's an autonomous process, started by the cow herself whenever she feels like it. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, doesn't it? Well, I'm here to tell you this isn't science fiction anymore. This is the reality of precision dairy farming, and it's happening right now. Today, we're going to dive deep into the AI revolution that's completely changing the game for milk production, all the way from the individual cow to that carton of milk in your fridge.
You know, for generations, farming has been all about intuition, right? It was this deep knowledge passed down through families, a gut feeling. It was about watching the herd, knowing the weather was about to change just by the feel of the air. But things are changing, and they're changing fast. We're seeing this massive shift. The farm of the future isn't just about instinct anymore. It's about precision. It's farming by data. It's not about throwing away that old wisdom. No, not at all. It's about backing it up with hard facts, replacing guesswork with actual, actionable intelligence.
So where does this whole data-driven thing even start? Well, it begins right at the source, with the individual animal. Let's get into our first section, the connected cow. We're talking about how each animal goes from just being one of the herd to becoming this incredibly detailed data point, giving farmers a look into their health like never before. Think about it like this. You know how athletes, or even just as regular folks, use a fitness tracker to check our steps, our sleep, all of that? Well, now, every single cow can have its own personal health record, just like that. We have AI-powered systems that can recognize each animal automatically, creating a unique health profile for them that's updated and watched over 24/7. This is a huge shift, really. We're moving away from managing the whole herd as one big group to really fine-tuning the needs of every single animal.
So what are these smart collars actually tracking? Well, a whole bunch of critical stuff. They're looking at activity levels, movement, even things like estrus detection for breeding. But what's really, really important is that they're constantly measuring rumination patterns, basically how much the cow is chewing its cud. Now, as you guys know, rumination is a massive indicator of a cow's digestive health. Even a small drop in chewing time can be the very first sign that something's wrong, like acidosis or ketosis, way before you'd see any physical symptoms. The system also tracks body temperature, so the AI can put all this data together, spot the signs of a disease early on, and let the farmer know. It's all about being proactive, not reactive.
And this really gets to the heart of what this technology is all about. You might think it's about constantly poking and prodding the animals, but it's actually the complete opposite. The whole idea is to have less direct intervention. But when you do have to step in, that intervention is way smarter, much more targeted, and a lot more effective. Believe it or not, this tech actually gives the cows more freedom. In these modern farms, the cows decide when they want to eat, when they want to rest, and even when they want to go get milked by a robot. And all of this is happening while they're being quietly monitored in the background. Okay, so we've looked at the individual cow. Now let's zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture. Welcome to the data-driven farm. This is where all that data from hundreds, maybe thousands of cows comes together. It gets analyzed to create this fully optimized model of the entire farm ecosystem. So how does this whole data pipeline actually work? Well, think of it as a constant loop. You've got cameras, sensors, and robots all over the farm collecting a massive amount of data all the time. Then the AI engine kicks in. It's working 24/7, crunching all that data, looking for patterns and anything that looks a bit off. And here's the best part. The farmer doesn't get buried in spreadsheets. No, they get simple, clear alerts and dashboards right on their phone or tablet. So with that information right at their fingertips, they can make smarter decisions about everything, from feed rations to breeding schedules, all optimized for efficiency and, of course, for the cow's well-being. Here's a really great practical example, something called the Cow Comfort Index. AI systems are literally tracking how much time cows spend standing up versus lying down. And this isn't just some random metric. A cow that's standing around too much might be stressed or lame, or maybe the stalls just aren't comfortable. But when a cow is lying down, that's when the magic happens. She's conserving energy, she's ruminating properly, and, this is key, blood flow to the udder increases by up to 30%. And as you know, that is directly linked to better milk yield and quality. So by putting a number on this behavior, farmers get a real, data-driven way to measure animal welfare that also happens to be fantastic for their business. And get this, the tech for identifying cows is moving way beyond those simple RFID tags. We're now talking about facial recognition for cows. Yeah, you heard that right. Using regular cameras, AI systems can pick out individual animals just by looking at their unique facial markings and muzzle patterns. This completely automates everything, tracking their movement, how much they're eating, their health. It gets rid of human error and means less stress for the animals since you don't have to physically handle them for tagging. Every single bit of data gets logged automatically to that cow's permanent digital file. How cool is that?
So, we have all this amazing technology, right? But the big question is, where is it actually being used? And what kind of impact could it have on a national level? To really understand that, let's bring this down to earth and look at a real-world example. Let's talk about India's agritech revolution. I mean, as the world's biggest milk producer, with an agricultural sector that employs more than half the country's workforce, India is the perfect case study to see both the massive opportunities and the real challenges for this tech. Now, this next number, it's just staggering. After everything we've talked about, all this innovation, it's estimated that only about 2% of farmers in India are using any kind of agritech right now. Just 2%. But look, that's not a sign that things are failing. Not at all. What it is a massive flashing sign pointing to a colossal, untapped opportunity. The potential here to boost productivity, improve sustainability, and just completely transform the lives of millions of smallholder farmers, it's absolutely immense.
And we're already seeing some incredible homegrown innovation tackling these local challenges head-on. Just take a look at the brilliant work being done at IIT Allahabad. The researchers there have developed a system that uses AI and computer vision to spot the early signs of mastitis. The AI just analyzes video of the cows, looking for tiny changes in how they walk, their posture, even the shape of their udder, all signs of inflammation. It's a low-cost, non-invasive tool that is just perfectly designed for the Indian context. Really fantastic stuff. And for that small 2% who are already on board, the results are speaking for themselves. The early wins are huge. We're talking about AI-guided irrigation systems saving about 50% on water, data-driven farming practices boosting crop productivity by nearly 25%, and smart spraying systems that only target the weeds are cutting pesticide use by up to 56%. I mean, these aren't just small improvements. These are genuinely transformative results. Of course, a revolution this big is never going to be easy. There are always challenges. So, for a fair picture, we have to look at the hurdles that are standing in the way of everyone adopting this tech, because understanding these problems is really the only way we're going to unlock its true potential. So, if we want everyone to be able to use this, there are basically 3 big obstacles we need to overcome. First up, the cost. Let's be honest, all these sensors, robots, and software, it's expensive. That's a huge barrier, especially for smaller farms. Second, it requires a whole new set of skills. The farmer of the future needs to be a bit of a data analyst, a bit of a techie. That means we need a big change in how we train people for agriculture. And finally, there's the digital divide. I mean, none of this high-tech stuff works if you don't have good, reliable internet in rural areas. That's a fundamental hurdle.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about data and algorithms and farm tech, but what does any of this actually mean for you? How does all this connect to the glass of milk you might have had this morning? In our final section, let's follow this revolution all the way to your local supermarket and find out why this matters to you. So let me ask you something. When you're at the store and you pick up a carton of milk, how do you really know about its quality, or its safety, or how the animals were treated on the farm where it came from? Right now, you pretty much just have to trust the brand on the label, right? Well, in the future, you won't have to just trust. You'll be able to verify it for yourself.
Just imagine this. You pick up that milk carton, you scan a QR code with your phone, and bam! Instantly, you get access to what's called a digital twin of the cow, or the whole herd, that made that milk. You could see its entire health history, what it was fed, key stats about its welfare. And all this data can be stored on a secure blockchain, which means it can't be changed or messed with. This is the future of knowing where your food comes from. It's a real, verifiable promise of quality.
So, when you boil it all down, this whole tech revolution brings 4 massive benefits directly to you, the consumer. First, you get higher quality milk because it's coming from healthier, happier cows. Second, you get actual proof that animal welfare standards are being met. Third, it's better for the planet because resources are used much more efficiently. And finally, you get a level of transparency about where your food comes from that was, honestly, unthinkable until now. So let's end with this one final thought. We've seen the incredible potential of AI in the dairy world, but we've also seen the very real challenges. The data is clear. This can make farming more efficient, more profitable, and way more transparent. The big question, the one that remains for the industry and really for all of us, is this. As we bring these smart systems into how we produce our food, are we going to use them to build a future for farming that is genuinely more humane and sustainable? The technology gives us the tools.
What we build with them, well, that's up to us.